Breaking news: the United States has been diplomatically isolated at the United Nations for its support of Israel, and Russia appears haughty in comparison. Russia seems conceited as it watches the U.S., which was also diplomatically isolated over its invasion of Ukraine, take a similar hit for its backing of Israel and its conflict with Hamas in the Gaza Strip. After the United States vetoed a resolution calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in the 2-month-long conflict in the Security Council, over three-quarters of the 193-member UN General Assembly supported the demand on Tuesday. With its veto, the American side essentially issued a license to kill and now bears full responsibility for each new victim of the conflict in Gaza, Russia's UN Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia told the General Assembly after the vote. Sharing this blame with them is something that other members of Security Council and members of the UN as a whole should not be asked to do, according to him. On Tuesday, 153 nations overwhelmingly supported the General Assembly resolution calling for an end to the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Just 8 nations, including the U.S., voted against the resolution, and 23 nations did not cast a vote. "They're loving it," remarked a senior European diplomat who wished to remain anonymous when asked about Russia's reaction to the United States' UN criticism of its supporting Israel. Prior to the vote, U.S. President Joe Biden stated that indiscriminate bombing was the reason Israel was losing support from around the world in its effort to eliminate the Palestinian group Hamas. Israel has responded to an attack by Hamas on October 7 that it claims killed 1,200 people and saw 240 people taken hostage by launching a ground offensive, imposing a siege on Gaza, and bombarding the territory from the air. The health ministry in Gaza has reported 18,608 casualties and 50,594 wounded. A worldwide perspective on the war is reflected in the General Assembly's resolutions, which are not legally enforceable but have political clout. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller responded to a question about Washington's perception of diplomatic isolation on Wednesday by noting that there has been a long history of fairly overwhelming vote counts when it comes to resolutions that involve the State of Israel. At the General Assembly, one of the things that we continue to hear about from our partners in the region and from countries all around the world is the indispensability of American leadership with respect to this issue, Miller stated to the media on Tuesday. After invading Ukraine in February 2022, Russia found itself isolated by the United Nations General Assembly. Diplomats from Russia regard the ongoing conflict in the Middle East as a great chance to reposition themselves at the United Nations. They have made strenuous efforts to highlight U.S. double standards over the war, said Richard Gowan of the International Crisis Group, a UN organization. They know that Ukraine and its allies won't dare float any resolutions targeting Moscow for a while. In the first year of the conflict, the UN General Assembly passed 6 resolutions condemning Moscow and requiring the withdrawal of all Russian forces. The majority of states, 143 to be exact, approved a resolution in October 2022 denouncing Russia's attempted illegal annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions. However, several diplomats have recently hinted that the United States' credibility in gaining UN support for issues such as Ukraine might have been tarnished due to its protection of Israel. The U.S. and other Western governments have quite rightly taken clear positions in support of human rights and the laws of war when it comes to Russian atrocities in Ukraine and Hamas atrocities in Israel, according to Human Rights Watch's Louis Charbonneau. But international law applies equally to everyone. Don Durfee and Grant McCool edited the piece. Daphne Saladakis contributed additional reporting from Washington.